Well, with 24 #1 hits and more than 40 million albums sold, Tim McGraw is a country music megastar. But he's much more than a velvety voice in a 10-gallon hat. On screen, he's played husband to Gwyneth Paltrow and Sandra Bullock. But he talked about his real-life marriage to Faith Hill and his new album when he sat down with Good Morning America anchor Josh Elliott for a Nightline interview.
Call it a Cajun homecoming. Country superstar Tim McGraw, born about 4 hours from New Orleans, swooped in for his own pre-Super Bowl party.
She's getting dressed up, putting on that lipstick.
Unveiling a new song.
Someday when you're looking back on your life at the memories, this is gonna be one of those nights.
On Good Morning America. We got a chance to visit backstage with the black-hatted hitmaker and sit down in his old stomping grounds, the famous New Orleans club Tipitina's.
Welcome home.
Yes, New Orleans, Louisiana.
What is New Orleans for you?
I think it's the soul here.
But it's in the country music world that the 45-year-old McGraw is a true legend, a multi-platinum career for hits such as It's Your Love.
It's your love. Just does something to me.
She's My Kind of Rain.
She's my kind of rain.
More than 40 million albums sold, 3 Grammys won, and now a new album, 2 Lanes of Freedom.
Luckily for me with this new record, it came out when it was ready instead of sitting there waiting and been ready for 2 years and not coming out. So there's a sense of freedom for me in that aspect, and I knew that we were going to be able to do with the music what we wanted to do with the music.
Are those moments there where you lay something down and you just know that's it?
I think the perfectionist in me never thinks anything's completely finished. There comes a point where you're sort of in the barrel, as they say. But you know, you could always tweak something. But I think that at the end of the day, with this record, I made the record I wanted to make.
And the new McGraw has a decidedly new look on full display in this People magazine cover shoot. Just the latest incarnation in a career full of high-profile turns, including hit movies like The Blind Side.
We'd like to become your legal guardians.
And Country Strong.
You can't expect to be the toast of the town after the way you've acted.
Oh, believe me. You made it perfectly clear that I'm not the toast of anyone's town.
And at the heart of it all, his marriage to fellow country megastar Faith Hill. They met on the road and have been married for 16 years and have 3 daughters. But he reveals that he almost lost it all until he finally quit drinking.
Are these decisions that you reach with Faith, or is this something that just sort of comes to you?
Well, I would say that she had a lot of input in my decision to quit drinking. It's easy to fall into, you know, be a quote rock star. You know, you sort of, there's a part of you that feels like that's what you're supposed to do. So I think that it takes a little bit of growing up to get past that. 5 years ago, and a lot of things professionally were going on in my life, personally were going on in my life. I was using that more as a crutch to get past some of those things instead of dealing with them. And so I thought that could be dangerous, because the further you got away from dealing with things and sort of blunted it with alcohol or drugs or whatever you're using, the harder it was going to be to deal with it in the long run. That being said, I still haven't dealt with anything, but at least I'm sober.
But sober does not mean dull. The first couple of country has been sharing the stage in Las Vegas. Their considerable chemistry still very much apparent.
So when we're out there on stage, we sort of get caught up in it, too.
It's still a special
thing. Yeah, it's a special thing. For me, it's special because she's such a fantastic singer. I mean, she really is one of the best singers I've ever heard.
And as public as the two are on stage, off stage, the couple guards their children's privacy.
You really committed to keeping family, and really privacy private.
Yeah, it's like if you act like a rock star, you get treated like a rock star. If you act like a family, you get treated like a family.
Family has been something Tim has had to search for. Growing up poor, he was shocked to find out that his father was the famous baseball pitcher Tug McGraw.
I went and saw him once when I was 11. We drove to Houston. My mom borrowed some money in a car, and we drove to Houston and saw him and visited with him briefly. And then I never really spoke to him again, saw him again until I was 18, 19 years old. We never really had a father-son relationship. I think it bothers you more as you get older.
Yeah.
I think those stuff gets in your kitchen a little bit more as you get older. But, you know, I think it drove me in a lot of ways. I
How
think
so?
when I found out he was my father, it gave me a certain drive to think what I could do with my life. So he gave me something that he didn't intend to give me, and I don't know if he ever knew he gave me.
He never knew because after reuniting, Tug lost his battle with brain cancer in 2004. It left Tim empty and aching. He channeled it all into his iconic anthem of forgiveness, Live Like You Were Dying.
And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying.
What kind of father has that made you?
I think you never think you got it right. I mean, you know, especially with girls. I think you figure if you do half the stuff halfway correctly, then you're doing pretty good.
And now, the next chapter for this relentless and restless spirit. He'll soon hit the road again, touring with a sound that's pure country. Pure Tim McGraw.
2 hearts, 2 bucket seats, too much sun, not to wear shades.
I love all kinds of music, and I think there are great musicians in every style of music. But I think there's something special about country music with the honesty that the artists bring to it. I think that as you get older, you know, you start stacking up life experiences, and then your vision of life changes, and your experiences in life change. And it's no longer about just finding this dark, brooding place to be. It's about sort of opening life up and putting that honesty in your music.
Mine's coming true, girl, here with you on 2 lanes of freedom.
For Nightline, Josh Elliott in New Orleans.